Hey there, we're here at Yeti's Grind in Vail Village, and joining me today we have Senna Leith, who is a professional snowboarder on the US team. So we have a lot to dive into. But first, cheers. What's your drink of choice?
I today am drinking an oat milk latte.
You just got back into town, you've been traveling a lot, but you have a connection with Yeti's Grind we're just learning about.
Yeah, it's my family's coffee shop. I feel like everybody wants coffee in their daily life, you know, so everybody comes here because the coffee's so good, and it's just a great place where the whole community comes together, and sort of most of the friends I know here now are just because I ended up making them coffee or sitting next to them having coffee, and it's just a great place to connect.
So, professional snowboarder, it seems like you're chasing your childhood dreams. How does it feel to accomplish that? I'm sure it's a unique grind, challenging on the heart, mind, and body, but exciting all at the same time.
Oh, for sure. I remember being a little kid in this valley and, you know, snowboarding on the weekends here, and that was like the dream, the idea of being a professional snowboarder. And of course, it's crazy complex from everything from, you know, the physical training side, the traveling, the mental aspects. It's a wild grind, but to be at that level and kind of live out my dreams is pretty special. I'm really fortunate. Snowboard cross is so diverse in the skill sets that you really need to excel in it. It combines all aspects of snowboarding. You know, you have racing, you have jumps, you have speed, you know, technical turning. So we really have to train a variety of aspects within our skill sets to excel, and that's part of why I like it so much, though, is because you have to combine everything as an athlete, you know, and the skill sets as a snowboarder is just the start of it, you know, because you can be the best technical snowboarder in the world, but then if you're not able to mentally perform once you're in the gate and the pressure's on and the TV cameras are going, then it's just not going to work, you know?
Definitely. In snowboard cross, you have other athletes to worry about. You're all racing down, and I'm sure there's so much adrenaline that goes into it.
Oh, absolutely. But that's like the rush, you know, and that's like what we live for, is having, you know, a crazy wild run and then coming across the finish line first. You know, like that is when you have people moving around you, and yeah, all those variables I just mentioned, you have to get all those dialed before you even have to worry about the other people around you, you know?
At the end of a race, what is the feeling like?
When I was young, I feel like I would have more anxiety and more of that, like, that build-up, but I also didn't know how to handle it at the time. You know, I didn't have the practice over the years and the skill sets that I've now developed, which now, like, you're able to kind of process and compartmentalize those different stressors to the point where when you cross the finish line after executing exactly how you wanted to, then it's just like a culmination of the entire year's worth of work into like a minute and a half run, you know? So it's just like the biggest relief and just this joy, and but then you're just hungry for more. It's like the goalpost keeps moving at that point.
Incredible. So what was it like when you heard that you qualified for the World Championships and you're going? I'm sure it was a big moment.
Yeah, like I was in a good standing with like my performance this year, but after this most recent World Cup in Cortina last week, I had a great result and kind of like solidified, you know, the views and the coaches and the selection committee's eyes of how I'm performing this year, that allowed them to make the decision for me to be on the team. Yeah, Olympic champion's incredible, but world champion is just as insane to have that title, you know, and with it being a more limited field size, there can only be a max of 4 athletes per country. It is like prestigious to make a World Championships team and to compete in that event, and so to make my second one is like a good feeling in my own personal progression as an athlete, and to be at a point right now where I think I can really compete for a great result is like feeling pretty fired up and confident for it.
Absolutely. We have so much hometown pride, and you guys represent us. You know, we're a small but mighty valley here, and so I want to talk about, you know, how this community supports you and then how you are able to give back to it, because it's a two-way street.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Vail truly is my favorite place in the world, and I'm traveling the world over half the year pretty much, you know, and I'm always so happy to come back to this valley. It's like my heart gets happy when I'm here. It's just a community that I'm so comfortable with and so happy around, you know. And for example, I go to the gym at the Westin, and a bunch of other local athletes, Kai, Michaela, all these just incredible talent that's in the valley that then is training at this gym. So you go in there and you're like seeing people that are also excelling in their own disciplines, and it's just a really healthy environment. But then you also see people that I've seen at the coffee shop in the gym, or see them up on the mountain when you're mountain biking in the summer, or in a lift line in the winter. It's just a great melting pot of like-minded people, and it's great to feed off that energy here.
Absolutely. Well, you're a role model to many athletes here, especially the young athletes, the young snowboarders that are after the same dream. So what advice do you have for them?
The main thing for me is just making sure that you're doing what you're happy with, you know, and being stoked in that, because you can't push yourself towards a goal that you want to achieve if it's not what you're actually really happy about, and finding that contentment, that happiness in a sport, in an activity that you love is really the most crucial, and that's how you're going to find yourself succeeding later on, you know. And winning is great. It's awesome to have a great result, but if you're not having fun when you're competing, when you're training, then it might not be the right path, you know.
Definitely. Well, if you want to rub shoulders with Senna, you can always catch him at Yeti's Grind.
You might find me in here pouring some lattes, you never know.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us and representing us as a local and legend.
Thank you so much for having me.